Hello and welcome. This will be a reading for Gemini for April 2023. Welcome to the table, Gemini. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I will be using a 10-card spread with 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. I'll be talking about those cards as they come out, and then I'll overlay them with a second deck of cards and talk about those cards as well. Flowers are from my garden today and the crystals have been in their salt bath. I do hope you find them uplifting to be on the table. They do seem to bring quite good energy to the room. Okay, let's have a look what's in store for you for April, Gemini. One little shuffle and that's it. Okay, Queen of Swords in the reverse position, Knight of Wands in the upright position, the Emperor in the upright position, 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position, 9 of Swords in the reverse position. On the bottom row we have the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse position, the 8 of Cups in the upright position, Ace of Wands in the reverse position, 10 of Swords in the reverse position, and the Devil in the upright position. Okay, I'll have a look at what's on the bottom of the deck. I'll show you first. Okay, 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. All right, we'll talk about these cards. So the Queen of Swords, Gemini, this would normally be you being able to be clear thinking, making decisive decisions, speaking your truth, knowing your truth, using your intellect and your wisdom. It's in the reverse position, so maybe you feel like you're not getting the truth or you actually can't make some sort of a breakthrough. It does feel a little bit like, when it's in the reverse position, a little bit like you're in a fog, a mental fog, whether you're just overwhelmed with too many things, waiting for a message perhaps, one message, something that will change everything. So it can be either one of those things. Okay, we've got the Knight of Wands. So fast moving energy coming in towards you. This is quite fiery, quite energetic. So somewhere along the line you obviously got quite a lot of enthusiasm about something because it's quite fast moving. Will you be able to follow up with all your enthusiasm? Will you be able to complete your project? You've got plenty of fire in the belly, so to speak, fiery ideas. As you can see, the flames are coming off you in all directions. So quite fiery, quite passionate, quite enthusiastic, but can you manage to follow through? Here's the Emperor. This is right smack in the middle of your reading. So there's this heavy, controlling energy, somebody who's in full control, who knows how to keep things in good order. So that's rather interesting that we've got that in the middle. I don't know if this is somebody that's in your life that's keeping things in good order, or if this is just a rigid control that needs to be put in place. Whether you're trying to work within a system of rigid control, but this will not fit in very well because this is hasty, fast, passionate and enthusiastic. But let's read on and see what else we've got. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position. So this is about family. Perhaps you're struggling to make ends meet. That could be the case. It does sort of have that feeling of struggling to make ends meet. Maybe your budget is a little bit constrained and you're feeling the pinch. This seems to also, maybe you're feeling some mortgage stress, having difficulty paying the rent perhaps. This definitely feeling very much like the money is going out faster than it's coming in. That's what I'll say. That's what it's feeling like. The money's going out faster than it's coming in. Okay, giving you some worries and anxiety, I feel. Not much you can do about that. That sometimes financial things always put us in a state of stress because we need them so much on a daily basis, and trying to juggle things is always difficult. Maybe you're coming up with a bright idea. Make sure if you haven't got a bright idea to do something to improve your finances, that you think it through carefully. Okay, Make sure you investigate it thoroughly. Be critical, analyse it well. Hoping for a contract perhaps, hoping for an offer, needing to collaborate with other people, negotiating contracts of some sort. Both of these, one on top of the other, is giving me the little bit of an indication that if you are negotiating a contract, pay fine attention to the details of this contract, or you may have the money will be at the bottom. Because both of these cards are in the reverse position, it will leave the money at the bottom of the pit, so to speak. So be careful, because both of those are in the reverse position. Don't put yourself in a position where you will find that you're owing money for something that wasn't quite to your satisfaction, because that's what the warning is with those two cards. Here we go. You're walking away from something, feeling a bit dissatisfied, had enough, getting fed up. It's always the same. It feels like it's always the same. Every cup I look into just brings me more disappointment. This is an illusion, of course, because it's under the moon. So that's a total illusion. Sometimes it's just a state of mind, and we can get into that state of mind quite easily. Sometimes you get a disappointment and then everything starts to look like a disappointment. So don't allow that to happen for too long, Gemini, because walking away sometimes is not any better, because you're still carrying all that baggage with you. You're still carrying all that emotional baggage. Perhaps you were hoping for some big breakthrough, some energetic breakthrough, and it looks like it hasn't come through, or it hasn't turned out to be quite the way you hoped it would be. This passion that you had, this enthusiasm, or that you were hoping for, looks like there's a bit of a downturn. So, there's this downturn in energy here along the bottom. So be careful of this downturn. Here we go. Again, we've got this painful ending. It's underneath this Ten of Pentacles, so perhaps there's a painful ending to some financial situation. But both of the two tens there, so definitely an ending. So definitely an ending, so that's quite good. So that looks like it's been quite painful for you, this financial, I'll call it financial distress, okay? Looks like it's been quite painful for you. It's rather interesting because you've also got the Devil here. So the Devil is also about some sort of need for you to break away from something that you've been investing in too heavily, an over-dependence on something. Now, it can be, again, you can be over-dependent on, you sometimes have an how shall I put that? Sometimes you're overconfident in what you can achieve. Sometimes you have, it's kind of like a budget. There's only a fixed amount of budget, and then there's, you sort of think, yes, I can manage this. I can manage to pay the bills. I can juggle it so that we'll win. That can be a kind of an overconfidence with monetary situations, wherein the reality comes down to, at the 30th of the month, there are 2 bills outstanding and you've really only got money for one. So that's the sort of overconfidence. This can be overspending, overcommitment, overindulgence. It can be like drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, gaming, any one of those things. But it can also be this sense of, yes, I've got everything under control, when actually perhaps you haven't got everything under control. That can be something that you are perhaps thinking you've got it under control and you haven't got it under control. So Gemini, there's that energy on the table as well. So something you need to look at as to how you're overcommitted and what's holding you back and what is becoming a burden to you and what constrains you and limits your behaviour and limits your capacity to live your best and fullest and richest life, because all of those things can actually be quite limiting in the long term, because again, any overconfidence, for example, can be quite limiting later on when the reality hits home, and bites home is often the phrase that people, when the reality bites home, that can be then quite a painful situation. We've got the Seven of Pentacles here. So Seven of Pentacles would traditionally be about pausing and taking a little bit of break, taking stock of your situation, having a look at your finances. How hard have I been working to achieve what I've been achieving? Can I keep going, or do I just need to have a little pause on my wand and have a little bit of a stop for a moment? Have you given yourself a little reward for the hard work and efforts you've put in? Or is it all just hard work all of the time? Because it's very hard to keep going when everything is just hard work all of the time. So do take a little break. Maybe it's calling on, it's in the reverse position. So don't be leaning on your staff too long. If you've got a new project you need to get off the ground, looks like you've got some enthusiasm. So yes, by all means, take a little break every so often, because you do need to be mindful of the things that you've achieved and the hard work that you've put in. Okay, and your body needs a rest and your mind needs a rest before you go on to the next thing. Let's clarify these cards and we'll see what we can find out for you, Gemini. Quite unusual for you to have the Queen of Swords in the reverse position, because Gemini has a very sharp mind. So in that reverse position, and perhaps you've been a little bit under the weather. It could be that you've been a little bit sick. I'm just feeling, for some reason I got the words under the weather. So maybe you've been a little bit under the weather, not quite feeling yourself. Okay, ooh, Wheel of Fortune, so that's rather nice. So things that look like they're going to change, and usually that's quite a positive card to have on the deck, on the table, sorry. The Knight of Wands, got the High Priest. Oh, so this is the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. Hierophant in reverse. The Emperor is clarified by the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay, something's not making you very happy. The Control is not making you very happy. All this, and I'd call this rigid control. This is controlling. This is needing to be very structured and rigid about things, is not making you very happy. So that's causing you some upset. But sometimes, particularly when the economy's in a downturn and when the monetary situation is in a state of flux, we need to be a little bit cautious and perhaps a little bit more rigid than we might like to be, and that can actually give us some upset. Okay, I'm not taking that. That's just sort of flown through the air for no reason. Okay, let's have a look at this Ten of Pentacles. Okay, Death. Okay, ending of a cycle. Something's coming to an end. Hopefully normally this is the card of resurrection. So this state of finances being, as I say, this looks not quite like a shakedown, but more going out than's coming in. That looks like it's coming to an end soon. Hopefully there'll be some resurrection and some new energy and some new fire that brings you some better energy coming towards you. Let's have a look at this Nine of Swords. Two. Oh, we've got two. I'll take two. We've got the King of Wands, so that's that enthusiastic energy. And Temperance. Temperance is healing, but it's in the reverse position. So I'll put that there and we'll talk about that as we go along. Let's have a look at this Three of Contracts, or Three of Pentacles. That's collaboration. So Two of Swords, some decision, some difficult decision by the looks of it. And that could happen. Oops, okay, here we go. We've got Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups in reverse, the Chariot. Okay, the Chariot in reverse again, so looks like you're walking away from something. That looks quite a powerful line here. We'll talk about that. You've got some fairly strong energies on the table. The Devil is clarified by the Seven of Cups, and we'll have a look at the bottom of the deck. Let's have a look. What have you got there? Okay, Ten of Swords. Okay, well, you've had the Ten of Swords twice. You've got the Ten of Swords here, but in the reverse position, and this one is in the upright. Straight away I was drawn to the little owl's eyes, immediately drawn to that. So there's something, some lesson that you've learnt in this, something that you've been taught, some sort of a wisdom that you've gained from your experiences, as painful as they may have been. A definite ending here. So and it's funny, the handles look like pressure gauges. To me, like pressure, that's what I'm feeling today, pressure gauges on these handles, almost like this ending has put a lot of pressure on you. But again, see this little owl, you know, we all go through these really difficult times, and there's something that we need to be aware of, something that we learn somehow, so that we don't get ourselves into those situations again, or we try and avoid getting ourselves into those situations again. So that is there. So that's in the upright position. So definitely something coming to the end, and it looks fairly painful. We'll talk about that because we've got the swords here as well. We've got the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords here. So I'll put them in. I'll put that one into this discussion here. So here we've got the Wheel of Fortune on the Queen of Swords. Like I said, I'm feeling very much that you've a little bit perhaps under the weather, not quite yourself. Because the Queen of Swords, she should always be in the upright position for you, Gemini. So the fact that she's in reverse tells me something's not quite right for you. But that looks like it's going to be rectified soon, because here's the Wheel of Fortune, so better times. We've got the Hierophant here in reverse. So this is an authority figure, establishment, tradition. So traditions, the way of going about things in a sort of a structured and routine and established way, looks like you're not going to have a bar of it. Looks like you're going to do it in your own good way with a lot of enthusiasm and passion. So it looks like you're not following the traditional path. You're not going to follow the established rules. You're going to do something off your own bat, so to speak. You know, you're going to use your own rules for this. You're not going to follow the traditional rules. You'll do it your way. I'm doing it my way. I'll do it my way. That's what you're saying. Here is this static Emperor, because this static energy just doesn't feel right for you, Gemini. You're not having a bar of it. It just gives you grief and makes you feel miserable. So Gemini, you're doing it your way. Okay, now we were on the 10 of Pentacles and this Death card, so we did talk about that, saying that hopefully the situation with the finances more going out than coming in, hopefully that will change soon. Looks like it's coming to an end. So there's quite a lot of fire in the background here, transformation, so hopefully that will soon rectify itself so that you won't be in that situation any longer. This is where the 2 cards came out on top of the 9 of Swords in the reverse position. King of Wands. Great deal of enthusiasm and passion and commitment. Being able to create the things you want to create. Okay, so that's there. But there's Temperance here. Temperance in reverse. So the Temperance in reverse is perhaps a little sign. Traditionally this would be about healing, but because it's Temperance and because there's so much passion and fire here. And then on top of this 9 of Swords, I'm thinking that perhaps you may need to temper your enthusiasm slightly. You know, you may just need to cut back some of the fire and enthusiasm and rebel streak. That rebel streak, perhaps you may need to temper that somewhat, just a little, okay? Tread a little bit more softly, because this is quite a soft and gentle energy. So perhaps tempering that fire energy, that you know, spectacular enthusiasm, you may need to temper that just slightly. Here we've got the 2 of Swords. So that was on top of this contractual card, which I said, you know, be careful you don't end up being on the bottom end of the financial transaction rather than on the top end of the financial transaction. This is the 2 of Swords, again making some sort of a decision, a difficult decision perhaps, something you need to cut back, not wanting to look at it, I think, not wanting to look at the situation. Oh, look, there's some little tiny fairies there. perhaps you can tap into the angelic side of things, and perhaps they can help you across the line. You know, maybe you need to spend a little bit of time out in nature. Can you see that? You've got the lavender and the little angels. So that is sort of your higher intuition, listening to your intuition and your guidance. If it's a decision you don't want to make, you may need to just go with your intuition. Here now we've got the Eight of Cups, wanting to walk away from something, and yet here we've got the Knight of Pentacles. I'd say the money is just coming in too slowly to keep you happy. As I say, you've got this very fiery energy here with the Knight of Wands, not wanting to do it by the book, not wanting to do it the old-fashioned way, but the money always seems to come in slowly. So there's this slow-moving energy coming in towards you. It's probably driving you crazy. Not much you can do about it. You know, if you walk away, does it make your circumstances any better? Because you still need to take all that emotional baggage with you. So sometimes you just need to wait for that to plod in towards you. It can be slow. It's under the Hierophant reversed. So, you know, the Hierophant, it's kind of like getting a tax refund. It can seem like forever before you get any justification with your money coming back towards you. You know, you want it to move more quickly, and it just doesn't, because you're dealing with an established structure that just doesn't move any faster than government procedures always go slow. So doesn't matter how enthusiastic you are about something and wanting to get going, it doesn't look like this Knight of Pentacles is just going to move at his own pace. Okay, he's got his own agenda, he's got his horse, he's on a mission, he's got his suit of armour on, he really can't go any faster anyway. Okay, Ace of Wands, and here we've got the Knight of Cups. And you've got this grief and this sadness. So this Knight of Cups, you were hoping, you were so enthusiastic, so passionate, so full of excitement perhaps to get on with what you wanted to do, and it's just making you feel disappointed. You're hoping to be, you know, a little bit happier. It feels like you've got to drop some of your projects that you were enthusiastic about. Perhaps they're just been put on hold for the time being, and that this is a sense of disappointment. Not quite filling up the cup, not quite getting the satisfaction that you were hoping to get from a situation. So a little bit disappointed perhaps about something. And again, we've got this Chariot here. You've got the Death and the Chariot in reverse. So the Chariot in reverse is often about, like the Chariot in the upright position would be charging ahead, winning, determination, very focused on your goals, very driven. It's in the reverse position. So, and again, the moon is there. So there's this cloud. So if you look at it like that, again, sort of that under the weather, that under this oppressive energy. So there's some sort of an oppressive energy here that's just holding you backwards or making you walk away from something because you can't get through this fog somehow. You can't get through this fog. It's like a quagmire of some sort that's just pulling you backwards. It's like the horse can't run in a boggy ground, you know. So as much as the horses would like to charge ahead, they can't make any progress on heavy ground. So that's the analogy I'm making here. Seven of Cups. You've got the Seven of Cups in the reverse position. Now normally this is about wishful thinking and fantasy and daydreaming. And that could be what this is about. Too much wishing, too much fantasy, too much daydreaming, procrastination because you can't make up your mind because you've got so many things you'd like to do. That could be the case as well. Maybe you've just got 100,000 things you'd like to do, and you know that's great that you've got so much enthusiasm for life. And it's very, very difficult when you are limited by your circumstances as to what you can pick and what you would like to do first, and you're not really sure whether any of them are going to be really what you want anyway. But like I said, moderate your enthusiasm a little bit, temper it down a little bit, go a little bit softly. because I don't think that over enthusiasm, that rushing to wanting to get things done, it can burn you out because sometimes your finances don't match the speed at which you want to do things, so you get this sort of burnout feeling. So it's almost that same sort of feeling of disappointment in the things that you wish for because they're not coming in fast enough. Now, I did talk about this Ten of Swords, and like I said, I definitely feel like little pressure gauges there. Take the pressure off yourself. Don't make your expectations quite as high. It doesn't mean you don't aim high, but sometimes you just need to pace it out a little bit more slowly. Be a little kinder to yourself, a little bit more gentle on yourself. Everything doesn't have to be done in one day. And I'm not very good at being patient myself, so when I say these words, I'm not saying it glibly to you because I'm not very good at pacing myself either. I'm inclined to be sometimes a bull at a gate. But maybe you need to be a little bit more gentle on yourself. This is what I'm getting from this card. And this card, I think, is quite significant in the reading today. For some reason, it's in the reverse position. But because she speaks so gently and so softly, I'm feeling that perhaps I need to make her voice a little bit louder for you. Be gentle on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't be in such a rush. Okay? Temper your enthusiasm a little bit and moderate everything just a touch, just to give yourself time to be like a flower. It's not much good if the flower comes out and nobody sees it, nobody has time to appreciate its beauty. You know, take some time to just be beautiful, give yourself a little bit of pampering perhaps. Spend some time on yourself, maybe take a day off. Make yourself look beautiful. Take good care of yourself for a day. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. I do hope this reading has helped you. And good luck with everything that you have got coming your way in April. Bye for now.